What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Real Reds Talk, the heart, the authentic football fan channel, ready for you guys. And Man United are back in action. We are back against Fulham, and we're kicking the Premier League off, and it's going to be a great, fantastic game, and we're going to carry all this positivity into it, and we're going to smash him. And yeah, excited, very, very excited. Wonderful to see so many of you in the chat already. Get your predictions in. Let us know your thoughts on the lineup. And for anyone who hasn't seen it so far, we have Andre Onana in net. We have Diego Dalot, Harry Maguire and Alessandro Martinez as a pairing. De Ligt on the bench. Mazraoui at left back, we believe, although it could be Dalot at left back. We've got Kobbie Mainoo and Casemiro in the midfield. Ahmad starts on the right-hand side, which means that Alejandro Garnacho is on the bench, believe it or not. Crazy times. Did not think that would happen. Then we have Marcus Rashford starting on the left, and we have what we believe, Bruno Fernandes and Mason Mount as your kind of rotational false nines, attacking tens, whatever it is you want to call it. We don't have a recognised striker, basically. But I don't mind that lineup, to be honest with you. I mean, a lot of people talking about De Ligt. Why is not De Ligt starting or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Look, Maguire can still do a job. We're fine. It's not like they've got, I know Muniz is a decent striker for Fulham, but it's not like they've got electric pace in behind. So I think we should be okay with that. And Maguire, in fairness to him, last season was really, really good. So we'll just see where he's at in a minute. And, bare minimum, it's going to be 1-2 games max, and De Ligt will probably come into that starting lineup. So I'm feeling really positive about the game. I'm so excited. Premier League football is back. You realise when you watch the Euros over the summer, and the Euros are fantastic, don't get me wrong, but it's a different kind of football, innit? When you're watching that. It's England. I support United more than I support England. I'm sorry, I just do. Like, United mean a lot more to me. If it was just like a Tinder thing or something now where you could swipe one team away, it'd be England for sure. Like, United are my bread and butter. It's in my blood. And I absolutely, obviously, yeah, being a Manchester lad, it is what it is. So, just watching football in pre-season, it's like, yeah, it's great to see these guys, but really what all pre-season tours are is just basically, for sponsors to get their money's worth effectively, and make sure you do this, make sure you do this interview, make sure you sell this kit, blah, blah, blah. All the new signings, make sure they show up and they're signing autographs and that. It's all like basically how it looks. Premier League football is like, right, now it's down to business, and now it's time to play football and be competitive. And from here today until the very end day is a very, very busy schedule. I'm going to talk about the lineup and my thoughts and feelings on that in a moment, and the actual game and Fulham's lineup. I'm going to get into all that, so please do smash a like on the video for us. But I just want to intro it with, like, this is the start of a new campaign now. Last year was absolutely horrendous. Some of the defeats that we had, some of the performances that we've shown, the same continuous issues, the conceding, 30 shots against Brentford, 20-odd shots against Luton. Everyone's just talking about how many shots we're conceding, how open we are in the midfield. And we all know the injuries. Like, we had the giant injury curse where it was like 60 to 65 absences and injuries in total, which is just absolutely nuts. So it was just a big cloud of negativity, and it feels, we've not kicked a ball yet in terms of competitive. I know people will say Community Shield, but it's not really a competitive game. We've not kicked a ball yet, so it feels positive. It feels like Ineos have done the right things, and they've brought in the right players, and everything's really, really good. But that could very easily and very quickly change, like that. Do you know what I mean? So we need to get off to a good start, because as soon as you lag behind a little bit, if we have a bit of a rocky start, you're already putting top four in jeopardy. Let's say we lose 3 out of 4 games in the August month. Let's say, I don't know, we lose to Fulham, we draw with Brighton, we lose to Liverpool. That's a bad start, and then you're already trying to clutch points back, and then you start getting the difficult games. We play Liverpool, Arsenal, City, and you're hoping in, like, standout performances in there. So you've got to win these kind of games. Fulham, they made a couple of signings, but they've lost the best player in Paulinho, who has always had a good performance against us. They've lost a couple more players. They're not as strong as they was. They're obviously going to bring in a couple more signings, but they'll have a plan. They hurt us last season at Old Trafford. I think we all remember this game. Iwobi, 97th minute. I'm praying to God there's not another thing like that. I'm also looking forward. There's so many things I'm looking forward to. The bench, who can come off. Is Xerxes going to have an impact? And that's all fascinating. So I'll dive into how I see the game playing out tactically, how I see subs coming on and impacting the game, all that kind of stuff I'll dive into. But let's see what you legends are saying, because that's more important. Apparently, Garnacho's coming off the bench. Leaks lineup I'm getting is Majrare. Yeah, that's the lineup. That's confirmed. Like, I mean, we've known that, not to like be flashy or anything, but we've known that for like an hour. That's going to be the lineup. So yeah, no Delit on the bench. Xerxes on the bench. Why is he started? Delit is on the bench. He is on the bench. He's not on the pitch, but he's not on the bench. That's a great lineup from McMillan. I agree. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I think it's relatively strong. The one thing I would say, McMillan, is if you can't beat Fulham with that team, then you're doing something wrong, because there is still a lot of quality in there. Look, Majara's first start, I understand it, you know. But the rest of the players, Rashford was in pre-season, Mount was in pre-season, Ahmad was, Casemiro was, Maguire, I think, featured in pre-season. Onana was in pre-season. So you've got Lissandro, Bruno, Dalot, and there's a couple at Mainu who are maybe not right up to scratch, but you look at Bruno in the last game, he was great. He looks like he's had a pre-season, and Bruno always does. Dalot keeps himself fit. He's very professional, so I have no qualms about that whatsoever. I think, yeah, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with that lineup. Feeling positive. Give it 90 minutes and we'll see what we're saying after the game when we do the post-match review. Rayanator, obviously, Delit and Xerxes need more time. Most happily with the team, but rewarding Rashford seems strange. That is something I want to get onto. Please, someone remind me of that. The Rashford situation. I definitely want to talk about that. Jay McGrogan saying club before country all day. All day. United all day long, says Dan Fenton. All day. Brian Casey, evening, Nick. Looking forward to this one. Absolutely, mate. I hope you enjoy it. I'm feeling positive for the season. Let's get a good start, good performance, and let's put a statement out there. Sancho not in the squad. Uarte not in PSG squad. Brian saying we reckon winning this 5-1. Love it. Love to see the positivity. New faces need to settle. And Maz is a forced start. It is, but I didn't think. I thought Lissandro could be able to do a job at left back, but I thought he looked a little bit not himself. I wouldn't say he was poor there, but he was a little uncomfortable. I think he's just better at centre back. And Majraoui, you've seen Ten Hag the way he speaks about him, that, you know, the way he can take it under pressure, he can offer solutions in the build-up, he can drop into midfield, he can offer that overlapping run for the winger so they're not as isolated. Tactically, he's very, very good. And he can do the defensive side. He's not amazing. Like, I keep burping. Can I just get this burp out? 1 second. I've been waiting for that for ages. I just had me dinner, so it was like bubbling up. I suppose these don't help either, but... Anyway, so yeah, I'll talk about the Sancho thing in a moment. Someone mentioned Marcus Rashford a minute ago. I have to agree with this, because all in the you guys have been watching the shows all week, and you watched the preview that we did, and one of the main talking points was, how are we going to handle this winger dynamic? So what has Ten Hag done is he looked at the squad and go, right, Ahmad has to start on the right, just has to. Because of the form that he's been showing. I thought he wouldn't start him just because of last season, because Ahmad would put in so many good cameos, and he would still play Anthony, or he'd play Forson, or, you know, but maybe now he's got people to answer to. It's like, right, we have to start him. So it's like, okay, that's probably what he's going to get. I haven't seen any pre-match questions yet. I know he's done some community notes and things like that. I'm sure if he gets asked about why he started Ahmad, I'm guaranteeing you now he will say because them two were in pre-season. But Garnacho, when he came off the bench, at City, looked sharp, really, really sharp. And I suppose that's a positive you can take. You look at our bench now in comparison to last season, it's night and day. Last season we had, and this is no disrespect to any of the youngsters, but we had we had Toby Collier before the majority of people knew, you know, the potential that he has. We had Louis Jackson, Ogiene, just no recognised senior players on the bench whatsoever. Now you look at it, you've got a couple of options. I mean, Sancho's not even in the squad. So that's something to discuss separately. But you look at it, we've got Xerxes, who can come off the bench maybe for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, you know, cook some sauce up. We've got Anthony on there for whatever people may say, still offers something, I suppose. You've got Delit on there. You've got Ericsson, McTominay, who can score off the bench. Like, you've got some decent options off there. And maybe we might need it. Maybe there's players that I've not even mentioned who we can bring on. So, yeah, I like that. I like that we've got, and you're going to need depth. What was it Ten Hag said at the start of the season? Survival of the fittest. And that's what it's going to be. What we all saying? I wonder after that Chelsea link to Sancho is pretty real. I can't see it. I would be I'm telling you now, I would be absolutely astonished if Chelsea signed Sancho. Really do not see it. I haven't seen any reasons either why Sancho's just not in the squad. Bizarre. Very, very bizarre. Is he asking about that? You know, has he been dropped again, or is it just a case of because how do you say it like he's not good enough to fit the squad? Then you're gonna have a tantrum again, and you're gonna have. I hope, but this is I'm honestly I'm bordering this on the caution of I just don't think it's gonna happen. I hope either something's going on with PSG and we're like we'll offer you Sancho on loan, but we'll give you 40 mil, so you don't have to pay a loan fee. Just an idea. You don't have to pay a loan fee. You take Sancho, you pay his wages, give us Duarte for 40 mil, or give us him on loan with an obligation or whatever, and we can work something out here. The Chelsea one, I can't see simply because they've got Madueke, they've got Cole Palmer, they've got Raheem Sterling, they've got Nkunku, they've got Mudryk, they've got so many wingers and attackers. Why on earth would Sancho go there? Because obviously he wants game time. He ain't going to get it at Chelsea, is he? So that's why I'm just thinking, I can't see it personally. I really, really can't see it. Couple of quotes coming out from the manager saying we're ready, we're excited coming for the new season. I think we develop young players. They are more mature. They come in and they contribute. It fits with the DNA of United. On playing 4-2-2, he says we worked a lot on this. We started it already last season. It's very good for us. I agree. I like the formation. I think McMillan and UTFR said it as well. On Mazraoui, he said his first job is to close wide areas. He's good at this. He's a good defender. He's quick, good agility, but also he can contribute on our build-up and attacking game. Very big game for Mazraoui. I'm sure he's absolutely buzzing to be starting. And that's one. The pros and cons are back, by the way. Sorry, I know this show's very jittery and I'm jumping from topic to topic. It's just because of how excited I am that we're back. But at the hangover, we are back, baby. We are back. What was I saying? Oh my god. I lost my train of thought. Someone remind me what I was talking about. I was just about to make a great point. Mazraoui. Sorry, yeah. Pros and cons are going to be back. So for anyone who's new to the channel, because there's quite a few of you actually, last season, after every game, I did pros and cons. So I watched the game, I extracted points out of it, and I was like, right, what were the positive and what were the negatives? So let's dive into them separately, individually, and then kind of do a roundup of the game as well, which I always enjoyed doing. So, yeah, I think looking at Mazraoui is going to be a talking point tomorrow for sure. I mean, I don't think De Ligt gets on the pitch as like a sub when you're a centre-back. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he does. Maybe we'll give him 5-10 minutes if we're winning. I'm not sure. But it's not a usual sub that you would make, is it? So I think there's going to be some analysis on Mazraoui tomorrow. Definitely on Ahmad. I want to see how he kicks because obviously he's done well in the Community Shield. He's done well in pre-season. Let's level it up now. Let's take it to the Premier League. And there's going to be discussions about Rashford, about the midfield. Is Casemiro back up to scratch again? Is he, he's looking a little bit leaner now. Some people are saying he's going to have a renaissance. I don't personally see it. I hope he does, but we still need Duarte in desperately, I would suggest. So, yeah. Is Ten Hag saying you want to have a good start to build a good foundation for the rest of the season? Everyone knows not everything will be 100%. That is possible, but you have to deal with it and get the win. Some fighting talk there from Eric Ten Hag, which I want to see from the gaffer. I still think he's been a little bit negative. Not negative, but like there's a bit of a negative element to it in certain things. Maybe he's a little bit worried. I don't know. Mount suits his formation. He and Bruno will close down centre-backs and close the passing lanes for centre-backs. Mount definitely will be a massive part of this team for the season. I'm buzzing for him. McMillan, that comment's getting pinned. It's something I've believed in for a while. I know people have the doubts about Mason Mount, and they have absolutely every single right to have doubts about him. I understand it. He wasn't fit at all last season. Constant injuries. Couldn't get into the team because of that. Had no rhythm whatsoever. But I think if you've watched him, if you identify a player and you know what they bring to the team and why they are an important cog, he's not going to be the best player in the team, but he's going to be a very, very important cog in there. And he has been that for Tuchel, for Southgate, for whoever, whether it's been as an 8, whether it's been as a right-sided forward, whether it's been as an attacking player, as a 10. He's very versatile. So for people who are saying, where's he going to play? What's he going to do? He'll get plenty of minutes. There's so many games this season. You've seen survival of the fittest. He will get, especially in a formation like this, he'll get more than enough game time, I think. So yeah, that is what I would say about Mason Mount. And people know I'm a fan of the player anyway, but I get it. I get why people aren't utterly convinced by the player. I understand it. Rangnick liked a 4-2-2. He certainly did, but Rangnick's 4-2-2 lasted for 45 minutes against Crystal Palace, and then just went to shit from there, didn't it? Just completely went to shit. The thing is, with these kind of McMillan just mentioned it there in the profile. With these kind of formations and setups, you need the right players. And when you have Mount, Bruno, absolute workhorses, engines, but when they receive the ball as well, very quick with it. Like, football intelligence is right up there. It's good. You got Mainu who can dictate a little bit, control the game. Is good under pressure. Ahmad, likewise, you blast it into his feet. It can take a touch like Velcro, and then a little bit silky, can beat a man, can go on the outside of man, or can cut inside. And you have Bruno making these runs around the side. There's so much versatility and movement in there. Big fan. So, yeah. What are we saying? Hope everyone's good, by the way. Nice to see everyone. Thank you for joining me. Appreciate you, brothers and sisters. Hope Xerxes finally gets some minutes. That's from random. I think he will. I think 20 minutes, half an hour, I'd suggest. Yeah, I think he should do. He played, I think, in the Community Shield. The reason why he didn't play is playing the game behind closed doors. After that, what I've heard, that was the rumour. So, obviously, they don't think he's fit enough to start. But 20 minutes, you've got to give him 20 minutes, haven't you? Especially if it's a little bit tight. You need a bit, different profile. There's not enough service. I think bringing in someone like Xerxes, yeah, I could definitely see him making an impact on this game. Jay McGregor saying Bruno was a false 9. If that works out well, that's even more for Erasmus and Xerxes to think about. Commiserations, Richard. Okay. I'm a Mount fan. Yes, Tim, welcome aboard. Random guy, is the watch along still on for tonight? So, what's happened with the watch along is there's some exterior things that have gone out, which are out of my control. Not going to do it today. I want to do it, but today we can't do it. Apologies, first and foremost, for that. But from then on, I promise you there will be. And if there's enough people as well to jump in on the watch along, there's enough people that want it, then we will do it. But it's been some exterior technical issues and stuff. So, yeah. I'll explain that on a different show because it's a long story, but not on tonight. But like I said, if there's no people who want it, we'll do it. First goal is ours. Let's have a good performance. Let's smash him. I'm happy. Sean's saying, sorry, I'm happy to see Ahmad start 100%, but would have liked Matthias de Ligt starting over Slab. Can't wait to see Xerxes. Hope he comes in. Xerxes will play in the second half. He and Garnacho, yeah, they're two subs. They would be the first two I would make substitutions. I'm happy about the bench though, man. I'm happy about it. I think where I put it on before. Where is it? Let me just get the bench back up because I don't want to say the wrong players. I want to see if anything comes out about Sancho, why he's not on there. Because one comment from Ten Hag, you know what that can do. We witnessed it last season. One comment can just blow up social media. So I think he needs to. He doesn't need to be careful, but he will be because he's very aware of how that can affect an ongoing season. So Bayern did de Ligt, Evans, Collier, Ericsson, McTominay, Anthony, Garnacho, Xerxes. Yeah, the first two names off that bench got to be Garnacho, Xerxes, and McTominay last 10. Has to be. But some of these players as well, don't forget, I mean, they're in, like, talks with other clubs, so the last thing you want them to get injured as well, like McTominay, for example. Some exterior issues, got an emergency run into Greg's planned. I wish, mate, I could eat at Greg's right now. Let me tell you, I've just had me dinner, and I could still eat at Greg's right now. I was surprised not to see Hamas on the bench. No problem, Nick. Hope everything's all right. It's just things that I don't really want to talk about on camera that's ongoing that needs sorting out. So, yeah, but I promise it'll be better. If these, like I said, if people want a watch-along, we'll do it. I'll make sure we do it for the next game. But this is the first opening game of the Premier League season. It's not the end of the world. There's still probably another 50 games for United. We will do it. We will do it. I can't even say that name. Afiku Ronald. Let Ten Hag help us with his fake substitute when he grabbed the win. He starts removing. I have no idea what that means. That's just, yeah, no idea. I see that team news comes out 75 minutes before kickoff now, Nick. It's nice to have a good bench. Come on, United. Sean, Matthias de Ligt had no pre-season. The media already ridiculing him if he had a bad game due to a bad game. Imagine how these media experts have an absolute field day. I agree with that as well, McMillan. Yeah, completely understand it. I just don't get why is Sancho out. Right. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on from Sancho. I want to discuss the game in itself. Where are the worries for United, and where are the worries? How can we hurt Fulham? Because I'm looking at, I don't think the back line is necessarily amazing. They got Calvin Bassey. In fact, let's go through Fulham's team. That's something I wanted to do. I've just seen it. Where's it gone? Yeah. So Leno, Tete, Diop, Bassett, Robinson, who I actually rate. I think they're a really good left back. Lukic, Pereira, and Smith Rowe as your midfield three. Lukic, one who does the dog work, likes getting stuck in. Yellow card on him, by the way. And then you got Traore, Iwobi, and Muniz. So you got two runners, I would say, in Iwobi and Traore. Traore, the thing that's always been with him is his end product is absolutely dog turd. But having me said this now, he's most likely going to score in it. But whoever he's up against, I think Traore is a right winger, right? So he's going to be up against Mazraoui. That's a key battle right there. Them two going at it. Mazraoui just coming at United. First game, debut. I don't think Mazraoui is necessarily slow, but that's some introduction, that, innit? Yeah, Mazraoui starting at left back, and you're up against the Hulk, basically. A rapid Hulk. So he's going to give him a game. And that's a great test. That's what they're there for. You're playing at United. You need these kind of tests. The thing is with Traore, 9 times out of 10, when he gets past you, he does fuck all with it. Because, like I said, his end product's shocking. With Iwobi, I would say similar thing with him, but he scored the 97th minute winner against us last season. That's the reason why they won, because of him. So he's one who's... I know he's a weird player, Iwobi. Sometimes looks really, really good. I remember a couple of years ago doing a preview for the Everton game, and I had Alex on, my mate, who some of you guys have seen, and he was like, watch out for Iwobi, and Iwobi scored against us in that game. So it's just, he likes scoring against us, apparently. And the number 9 is probably the best player, the most talented player, I would say, in their squad. Rodrigo Muniz. He looked really good. There was a period in the last season from February to May, where he was just banging in goals. I think he got double figures for him eventually. Like, his second half of the season was really good. Physically good, technically, like, his first touch is great. He's going to cause a bit of havoc with Lissandro Maguire. But we should be dominating the game. We shouldn't give him that much of a chance to get involved in the game. We should retain possession really well. We should win it back really well with the players that we've got in the forward line. And we should create a lot of chances with players like Ahmad, Bruno, Mount. Yeah, more than enough for me. So, yeah. Eric Ten Hag said on Sky Sports, Premier League, Sancho not included. That's all he said. Is that it? I think we're going to struggle to sell him, It's clearly a player who is, one, not in Eric Ten Hag's plans. He's down in the pecking order, probably near the bottom. He's probably behind Anthony as well, I'd suggest. He obviously thinks he's better than that. He's had glimpses at Dortmund, but didn't necessarily do it on a consistent basis. Had 1 or 2 games. So obviously wants to feel more appreciated. And if it's an opportunity, if PSG are kind of sniffing around, which I don't get either, by the way, why are PSG looking at Sancho? And maybe it's Luis Enrique, possession-based. He likes lots of rotations and patterns and intelligent players. Maybe it's something to do with that. I don't know. But they've just signed Desire Doué. They've signed a load of other players. They've got like Kolomoane. I don't get it. I don't get it. But if they want him and they want to pay the money, fucking happy days. Or even if he's going on loan and they'll pay his wages and it helps in some form of way with pushing forward that Uwate deal, then please do it. Please. Random guy. I love you, brother. Thank you. Gifted a Real Red Talk membership, and that is to Dramatic Avocado. Exclusive content coming out over the weekend. Not as naughty as it sounds. It does sound a little bit thingy, that. It's not like an OnlyFans or anything. But content will be out over the weekend for you lot. We'll try to get it out as much as we can, but when we're doing 2 live shows a day, more so in the past couple of days, like 4 live shows or 1 pre-record and 3 live shows, it's hard to edit and get a video out there. But over the weekend, especially because United are playing tonight, we should have a bit of time. But yeah, there'll be some decent content coming, because there'll be pros and cons, there'll be a membership video, and then there'll be Sunday socials and the lives on top of that. So looking forward to this weekend. If Maguire makes a mistake, they'll make us pay. Casemiro needs to show us today. Are you rhyming that on purpose, Punch Paint? I feel like you're a bit of a poet there. We've got modern day Shakespeare. If Maguire makes a mistake, they'll make us pay. Casemiro needs to show up today. Casemiro needs to show up today. They're my only concerns. Everyone else is ready, and our bench feels dangerous. I do think in this system, Casemiro has slightly more protection, because when we're defending, or rest defense, whatever you call it, and we're kind of sat back, you have Mount and Bruno both dropping into the midfield, so it's really compact. And then obviously Mainu as well, who's floating, so he's protected a little bit more by that. It's when it's on the transitions where we can be killed, because whether it is we're trying to win it high up, or we get the ball and we play it through and they win it back, that's when the space appears behind. And Casemiro ain't got the legs to be catching up, so he's a little bit risky in that. You need to be careful with the way you approach it. Maguire can play decently out the back, and with Leacher there, it'll be fine. I think so. I think Maguire, yeah. It's not the Maguire of famous last words, but it's not the Maguire of like under Solskjaer. He's improved. He's been good. Manu has to stay with Casemiro. Hopefully, no more single pivot. Yep, very smart, Grace. I like that. Thoughts on Rashford's involvement? Yeah, it's. I mean, I touched on it earlier, but I'm happy to kind of dissect it again. With Rashford, I think it's only so long that loyalty badge can pin on his shirt for me. I think it's a difficult one because I love him. He's from the area. You know, he's shown levels before where he's almost been world class, I would say. I mean, scoring 30 goals in a season, that's got to be world class. The thing is with it, when he's not scoring, he does fuck all else, really. And he has patterns of, when his confidence is low, of just being isolated and running into defenders and getting kind of clouded in his brain in really important attacking areas. So, I don't know. I think just because of what I've seen on Rashford's trajectory from time and time again, he dips and then he peaks and then dips and then he peaks. And because he had such a dip last season, I'm just naturally, and because he hasn't gone to the Euros and he's had a pre-season, there is no excuse for Rashford not to have a good season. Zero. I won't even hear it from anyone. So the first couple of games, if he's not performing, if he's not chipping in, getting assists, creating chances, scoring, you've got to drop him. Because then what? I said the same thing under Ole. I keep itching my nose. I said the same thing under Ole. If you don't drop players when they're playing bad, what message does that send to the rest of the team that you're not going to get in regardless? So under Ole, McTominay, Fred, Maguire, Wan-Bissaka, Rashford would always play. Even if he was playing, terrible, he'd stick with him. And players lose. It's hard anyway managing a full squad, right, of like 25 lads who want to be involved in the first team action. But let alone when they're not getting minutes when they're deserved, that completely destroys morale. And then the rest of the bench are looking up to the manager and saying, you should have started me, mate. So it's tough decisions and tough moments. And I think Ten Hag at times last season, he did have favourites. It took him ages to start Ahmad. We on this channel and you guys in the chat were saying for ages, why is Ahmad not starting? Why is Ahmad not starting? You've seen him now. That right side's arguably his for the foreseeable. So it takes him a while to make that decision. And I just hope he doesn't do the same, because what happens then is it becomes a detriment to the league and you start losing points and you drop down the table because you have this belief. It's nice having belief in players, don't get it twisted, but how long can that go on for? How much credit have they got in the bank before you go, you know what, you've had your chance. Garnacho, you step up because you've been scoring. You've been a lot more impactful. You make better decisions on the ball. Just from a sporting sense, that just makes a lot more sense, doesn't it? It's logic. Daniel Raj, big up Dan, saying Lindelof is going for sure. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're going to get a lot of money for him, but if you get 10 million, then, it'll obviously bring the net... Jesus. Sorry, people. It'll obviously bring the net spend down. I think Lindelof's on £120,000 a week, so it also gets the wages off the bill, which is great. Mazraoui is also very good at drifting into midfield as an inverted fullback, so it may help Leacher, Maguire, Casemiro a lot. Mazraoui is class. Been watching a lot of his stuff recently. Yeah, a lot of people 50-50 on Mazraoui. From the comments I've heard, I have to admit, I haven't watched him loads. I've probably seen him more at Ajax, to be honest, than I did with Bayern. But he certainly offers something different to Wan-Bissaka, that's what I'll say. And Dalot, likewise, I mean, he can drop into midfield if needs be. He's versatile in that sense. So fluidity and versatility, that is what you see in that team right next to me there. 100%. To be honest, Garnacho should have started ahead of Rashford. Rashford should prove his selection on the pitch. I agree, Dan. Ray and 8 is saying it's worrying because Rashi's been in the United shirt longer than anyone else, and the fact he's the one we're all questioning speaks volumes. Another great comment. Grace, nobody speaks about Rashford's actual performances in Erik Ten Hag's first season because he scored all of them goals. You're right, when he doesn't score, he's rubbish. He's 26 now. He needs to work for the team. Yeah. So many smart people in the chat. Evening all from Nick Knack. Fulham's bench doesn't look too bad either. Do you know what? I've not had a look. Bendo, Castagno, Cuenca, Reed, Kearney, King, Wilson, Raul Jimenez, Stansfield. It's all right. None of them worry me, though, to be honest. I wouldn't see, like, Raul Jimenez nowadays come off the bench and be like, oh, my God, I'm worried. Quality-wise, it's okay.
It's not too bad. Muya XD says, can somebody tell me why Maguire and Mount is starting? Maguire's starting because Delit's just debuting, basically. I know Mazraoui is, but we're a lot more desperate at left back than we are at centre back. Maguire can play a good game there. That's absolutely fine. And Mount starting for reasons I explained. This 4-2-2 system, or 4-2-4, whatever you want to call it, him and Bruno work really well in it, and it's been proven. So why not start it again? Why not stick with rhythm and fluidity? Because we haven't got a 9 who's fit enough to start. That's basically why he's starting. Andreas Pereira back at Old Trafford again. Excuse me. Evening all, thanks for the gift of the membership. Let's go United. Big up Dramatic Avocado, one of my favourite names. Glad that Ahmad has got the right spot, well deserved. Come on United, let's have it. Surprised to see Mount starting. A lot of people surprised to see Mount starting. I'm not. I think he should be starting. Dan saying, I hope 4-2-4's temporary formation will have to shift back to 4-3-3 once Højlund is available. I don't mind kind of flipping between both. I know I've said it about a million times, but having that flexibility is fine. You need different tactical outfits for different games. If you have a team that's, for example, right, if you're having a team who's going to play that low block and drop deep and try to stodge it out and nick a winner towards the end, bringing players in like Joshua Zirkzee, who's going to drag centre-backs out of position and create space for the wingers, then, yeah, you set up with that system, don't you? If you have a team, let's say, I don't know, you play a big game like a City or a Liverpool when they're going to leave a lot of space and you need a channel runner like Rasmus Højlund, you bring him in and you change the tactical setup. That's the difference that we've got. Last season, you looked to the bench or we looked at options who we wanted to rotate and you're like, who the fuck do you bring on? There's no one there. So when Rasmus got injured, it was like, oh, Rashford back at the 9 again. So I think this system actually offers us a solution. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a fan. I actually prefer Garnacho off the right, but Ahmad needs to start. He deserves it on form. Yeah, I'd love to know Garnacho's thoughts. Genuinely, I'd love to know what he thinks about it. If he's, because he strikes me the type of guy like he probably thinks in his head he should definitely be starting. But maybe Ten Hag's eased him in the first couple of games, said, look, he was in the Copa America final. We'll slowly introduce it. He's probably started going, well, Lissandro was in the Copa America final and he's starting. So it's hard to manage players like that. I don't know what he said to him. No idea. So yeah, please preseason Pirlo, do not score. Please do not, because that's just going to be a talking point. That's just going to glaze over anything that happens in the game. Let's have a look at some of these pictures. Yeah, so the 4-2-2 there, you can see it in preseason. Well, you guys can't see it, but there's a tactical thing here from preseason where it was that kind of hectagon. You can see it here. Like I wish I had like a whiteboard, but this bit, the top half of the pitch, how we're pressing is like really effective as a unit, and I think that's one thing they've been getting well in comparison to last season. Right, that's time to get some score predictions in. Then it's that obviously some of you have already done it on the preview. Sorry, yeah, was it? Yeah, you did it on the preview. Has your mind changed? Are you feeling a little bit nervous now ahead of kickoff? Has the lineup changed your predictions? I'm going to read them all out now. So let's go. Get your predictions in, goal scorers, and any top tips whatsoever that you think is going to happen in that game. Sean saying 3-1. Nick Nack 2-1 United. Xerxes and Garnacho running at tired legs going to be scary. 100% agree. Richard 3-1 United. Dramatic Avocado 4-1. I'm loving his fucking confidence. Great. 2-1 United, says Josh. Dan Fenton says 3-0 United. So let me ask you a different question. Is it anyone in the chat who doesn't think we're going to win? Alex saying 2-0. United. I think everyone thinks we're going to win, right? It's a general consensus. That's what we love to hear. I mean, it's the opening game of the Premier League. Man United at Old Trafford against a mid-table team. There isn't more of a tap-in, really, that you can get to kick things off. You have to go and win this game. There's enough quality in that team on your left-hand side on the screen. More than enough. And we've come full circle there, because I said that as soon as I seen the lineup, I was like, that team has to beat Fulham. No ifs or buts or coconuts, which one man famously said. So, yeah, let's go smashing. This is, like I said, it's not going to be a watch-along because of other exterior issues, or not issues, but things that are going on. But we're going to be back for a review after the game. So, I really love them kind of reviews with everyone joining in and getting involved and dropping their opinion and giving their analysis.
That's something I'd love to see. So if you are available later on and you want something to watch, straight after the game we'll be live discussing it in depth for about an hour or so. So yeah, do come and join us. Hope every single one of you has enjoyed the game. Let's have it. United smash it 3-0. Put on an entertaining performance, and there's loads of good things to talk about. That's what we want, yeah? Cool. Smash like on the video, subscribe to Real Reds Talk, and hopefully we'll see you guys after the game to discuss in full, yeah? See you in a bit. Take care, everyone.